In John chapter 1, we read about the growth of Jesus' first group of disciples and how some of the key players came to find him in the first place. First, we find Andrew, who encounters Jesus, he listens to his teaching, and then Andrew does this. He immediately goes and he finds his brother Peter to share the news. And the scriptures describe it like this. He brought him to Jesus. Then Philip encounters Jesus, and he also hears him teach. He goes and he finds his friend Nathanael and invites him to come and see Jesus too. But he gets a different response than Andrew did. He's met with skepticism. Jesus of Nazareth? Can anything good come out of Nazareth? And Philip actually doesn't have an answer to that question. He simply has an invitation. Come and see. Nathanael does come and see, and eventually becomes an apostle and disciple of Jesus also. See, the life-giving gospel of Jesus, it spreads when we share it to others. And so much of that happens not from some missionary who goes and sails overseas, but with the likes of Andrew and Philip inviting a family member or a friend to come and see Jesus. And you realize what Andrew and Philip did here. They didn't come with a sales pitch or some persuasive argument for Jesus. They gave an invitation to come and share in the good thing that they themselves had found. The elders and I, we've been talking about this quite a bit, and we would like to encourage and even challenge you to invite someone to church during the month of February. Who can you invite? A friend, a family member, a coworker, a neighbor? And I know it can feel a little awkward to invite someone to church. I mean, what would people think if I talked about church or invited them? That's a great question. People are asking this question, lots of them. So actually, Lifeway Research did some research on this. Among unchurched Americans, how many do you think would agree to the following? If a friend of mine really values their faith, I don't mind them talking about it. The answer? 79%. Very high likelihood that your friends and family are really quite fine with having that sort of conversation, talking about faith, sharing your church. Another question that they did in this research project. What percentage of people said they would be likely to attend if invited by a friend or family member? Answer? 51%. Also pretty high. That's about 50-50. And realistically, the other 49%, they probably wouldn't mind much. If you invited them, they might just say, no thanks. Right? So anyhow, we want to invite people to church. They're open to it, quite likely, and it really is part of our Christian commission. But sometimes the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, right? We want to invite people, but we just don't get around to it. So the elders and I discussed how to help encourage you to make this happen. And the invitation we have for you is this. Simply respond to this message with the number of people that you would like to commit to inviting this February. And then your elder will follow up with you and send you encouragements, reminders to extend those invitations. I'll be in it with you. And then when you do invite someone, let your elder know, and we're going to keep a count of how many people we as a church invite during this month of February. And our hope and our goal in this isn't for people to put on a big number of how many people you're going to invite. I expect most people just put on the answer one invitation. And that's great. Really, our greatest goal is that everyone participates in this blessing of getting to invite someone to church. It is a blessing. All right, so that's the plan. My hope and prayer is that you'll respond to the text or the email that sent you the link to this video and just give the number of people that you want to commit to inviting this month. Remember, even if it's just it's a perfectly great number. And together we can continue that work begun by Andrew and Philip of bringing people to come to Jesus.